Hey viewers, welcome back to Exerscribe TV. Once again, my name is Chris Zelinka. I'm here with Anthony Carey, the owner of Function First.
Hi Chris, how you doing?
Good, Anthony. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm the owner of Function First. I'm the creator of the Core-Tex here in San Diego. Been doing corrective exercise with clients from around the world for almost 20 years. Mostly people come to see me because they're in chronic pain, although our studio also offers basically traditional exercises based on our underlying ethos, meaning that we use full body movements, we dissipate the force in what we're doing. It's not a lot of traditional lifts in that way, and so we service a lot of clients in that respect as well.
Why functional training?
Well, functional means different things to different people. Obviously, it's been a big buzzword in the industry now for quite a few years. My opinion of it's always been the word should be synonymous with transferable. If I have one of my clients that come in and have a history of chronic lower back pain and they need to move better, what's functional for them is going to be different than what's functional for you, a fit athletic guy, right? So it's that kind of discussion has to be always included in the word functional. So there's two questions I always ask when it comes to functional: for whom and for what.
What are some of the biggest issues you think functional training solves?
Well, I think it prepares the body. So often, if we limit our training to a certain bubble that we move in, anytime we go outside that bubble, whether it's for sport or whether it's for life, that's when we get hurt. That's even when the most elite athletes get hurt. So obviously what we're trying to do is provide an environment to train the body to prepare itself for a lot of different things and not just muscle hypertrophy. And that's kind of the premise behind functional training as a whole.
Do you feel like someone like myself would benefit from functional training, me being like an extraordinary athlete and all? No.
I was just going to say, as an extraordinary athlete the way you are, I think everybody can benefit from it. There's certain macro and micro cycles that are scientifically based that we should follow. If you wanted to put on a lot of hypertrophy and a lot of weight and prepare for something, or you wanted to go through a power phase, then maybe training 365 days a year functionally is not ideal for you. But interwoven in your training cycles can be excellent for anybody, depending on what their ultimate goals are, though, of course.
CrossFit is a big buzz right now, right, in the industry. What are your thoughts on CrossFit?
I think CrossFit's the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think that they've done an amazing job of building a community. I think the coaches mean well. I think a lot of the people that get into it mean well. And in the good places, there's wonderful things happening. In the bad places, there's horrible things happening with people overtraining, not getting enough restoration, not using good technique. But I think it's a mistake for the industry or the outside observers to lump everybody in CrossFit in underneath the same heading. Although some people should have basically have their rights to train other people removed. And there's other CrossFit coaches that are admirable in what they're doing and doing a great job of really bringing people into the exercise world. So it's a double-edged sword, to be honest with you.
With what you know with functional training, do you feel like CrossFit is functional?
You know, CrossFit, to the best of my knowledge, now as a disclaimer, I've never actually trained in a CrossFit gym. I've observed it. I know CrossFit. I've actually had CrossFit both participants and coaches as clients because of injuries. But for example, the coaches that I've had are extremely well versed in anatomy and movement and Olympic lifts. So I don't think it's appropriate for everybody, or I think that people get so caught up in the group environment and what they're doing is that they don't really listen to their bodies. And it's really critical that people are prepared for what they have to do. And that's beyond just learning technique. It's also how well does the body tolerate the stresses that are being placed on it. And that's a whole different conversation than just technique.
Got it. Do you feel like there's anything that I missed with functional training? Any of the questions that some of our viewers might need to know? Maybe some of the steps they need to take if they're interested in it?
Well, I think functional training is an individualized training approach, and that's how it should be thought of. Some people look at, circus acts standing on stability balls as functional training, and that might be functional training for 0.001% of the population. And other people look at sitting on a leg extension as dysfunctional or non-functional training. But for the senior who's never felt what resistance feels like on their quads, initially a leg extension machine might be functional for them. So again, you just have to be careful on who you're talking to and what you're talking about in terms of functional training. But ultimately, the real test, does it smell, look, taste, feel like I want to do either in real life or want to do in my sporting activity or my recreational activities?
I'm curious about the machine behind me. What is it called?
The one behind you?
Yeah.
That is the Core-Tex. It's a reactive variability piece of training equipment that we have had the honor of getting into facilities all over the world, including elite sporting NFL teams, Major League Baseball, et cetera. And it's a reactive environment that really challenges the body and joint angles and the motor system in very unique ways.
Thank you for your time, Anthony. I really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Once again, this is Chris with Exerscribe TV. Take care.